Hey there, Sovereigns. Monica Grace from cardreadingqueen.com here. Today's content is when should you let your twin soul go? So I was talking to a really good friend about this and came across some false beliefs throughout our conversation. So I thought it would be a good topic. There are lots of people who wish that they could let their twin soul go because they feel like the twin soul is causing them a ton of pain. So what I want to say just in general about that is that it's not the twin soul who's causing you pain. It's actually pain that is already inside you that is just being revealed by your twin soul. So your twin soul is bringing that from the subconscious to the conscious. And that can be really challenging, but they are not the thing or the person causing you pain. You're actually projecting the pain that's already there onto your twin soul. So specifically in this situation, we were talking about how can I get over my twin soul if I keep spending time with him or her? And then another question is, how can I get over him if I keep seeing him, if we keep coming back into a relationship? And so I've been in this situation before as well, where there's kind of this in and out energy, like you're moving toward them, and then they do something that is kind of a deal breaker, and so you pull away, and then you realize your feelings haven't changed, so you go back. And so there's like this whole hot and cold pattern going on there. So what's really happening here is some false beliefs at work that stem from society, and really like the best energy to describe it is really like the cover of Cosmo magazine, which is like filled with all these articles like 5 ways to get over your ex, and it's really for Cosmo is like largely for single women who want to move through like dating and sex challenges, basically like issues they're having in their dating life and their sex life, and like sure in their relationships as well. There's 2 false beliefs that are coming into play here. The first is that it's this idea that the reason you love this person is because you are spending time with them, and because you keep engaging with them. And so this could be like seeing this person on a regular basis, responding to this person's texts, being in a relationship with this person, sleeping with this person. And it's this belief that, well, if I could just stop doing those things, then the feelings would fade or the feelings would go away. This is not true. Like you can do these things or not do these things, but the feelings are going to remain there. The feelings are not caused by sleeping with the person, and they're also not even enhanced by sleeping with the person. Like the feelings are there, and that's why you want to sleep with the person. So then the other false belief is that if you are not engaging with them, the feelings are going to go away somehow. And so this is, you hear lots of stuff around this, like time heals all wounds. Like if you can just back away from the person and like wait a couple years, then all of your wounds around them are going to be healed. Or out of sight, out of mind, is another phrase that you hear. And these are also like very much not true. I have definitely experienced relationships where time didn't do a damn thing to that wound, in the sense that like you still, like time doesn't heal wounds. What heals wounds is healing, right? Like doing your healing work heals wounds, not just letting time pass by. And then out of sight, out of mind, not true. It's really like out of heart, out of mind. Like it's not that you're seeing the person that is creating these feelings. It's that You have a desire in your heart that's creating these feelings. And you have to address it at the heart level, and then that person leaves your mind. So people want to let their twin soul go. They worry that the situation is toxic, that it's an obsession, and then they believe that and this is a societal belief, that if they could just, get this person out of their life, that they would be able to release them. This can actually work on a number of people. So like most relationships, this actually can work. An annoying coworker, a difficult boss, like leave your job and you won't have that person in your life anymore. Even just like, a romance that is just like, so. Once you leave that person, that person is out of mind. It's not true with a twin soul though, because you're not leaving them because you're leaving them with love is the problem. You're leaving them from a place of wounding. And so that wounding is just going to stick with you. And so the answer to all of this is to release the situation with love. So whoever you're with, this person that you think is your twin soul, maybe they're not your twin soul, but either way, you have to follow the thread to its natural conclusion. And that can only happen through releasing and surrendering this to the current situation from a place of love. So how do you do this? You heal through your upsets. So that's one thing. Knowing when to walk away energetically, because you can walk away physically and that is going to do absolutely nothing. Like it's not going to change how you feel about them. Walking away energetically though, it's not a logical process. It's a feeling that you experience, and it's the feeling of being done with the situation, with the relationship, and with the person. And a lot of this, here's an interesting example, I guess. So this wasn't a twin soul, this was a karmic twin, my ex-husband, and I left that relationship like pretty angry and pissed off. I had healed through a lot in order to even be able to leave the relationship, but I was very, very angry and like hated this person and thought he was like a sociopath even. Like I was like, there's no way he's not. So I left that relationship, and some of the toxic patterns from that relationship that I had participated in that were inside me attracted that, like I attracted them again with my new partner, who's my husband now. So I attracted those patterns again, but I've noticed and I realized that my husband and I have healed through all those patterns. And as we've healed through those patterns, I've actually been releasing my ex-husband even more, and from a place of love at this point. So like I really don't have like animosity towards him anymore. And it's not because I healed with him. Like I started out hating him. It's because I've healed through that wounding inside myself, with my next relationship. So it's the same thing, like, because before my ex-husband was really, even though we were over, the situation was still like controlling me. It was still controlling my patterns. But now that I've healed a lot of that with my current husband, it's almost like I have released that person with love, even though I started out like at the beginning of our divorce, I hated him. It's like if I saw him now, I really wouldn't have animosity towards him. I hope that he is doing well. I don't talk to him much. I think it was like, I don't know if it was a couple years ago, I had seen something that, because we have a ton of mutual friends. We went to college together. And we also are from the St. Louis area. And yeah, so I had seen something that his home had like, there was like an explosion in his home, like a water heater or a radiator or something. I don't know much about homes, so I have no idea what appliance would be in a basement and would explode. But there was an explosion in his home, and his whole family was safe, so that was good. And I remember thinking like, oh, I'm so glad that they're okay. And this is like not a thought I would have had like even like 3 years ago. I would have been like, I don't know what horrible thing I would have thought, but it would not be, oh, I'm really glad they're okay. So I noticed that really, it's really that the healing work is the only answer. As you heal, you are able to release a relationship with love, and until you heal, you are not going to be able to release the relationship at all. Because you can't release something out of hatred. That just doesn't make sense. Or you can't release something from a place of like still wanting it. So if you try to walk away before you feel done, the wounding is going to haunt you. You can move on in every way, but there's a lie that you're telling yourself, and that will stay with you. And then you will attract the same lessons over and over again, often through a karmic twin, sometimes even through your twin soul, like I did. And then specifically with your twin soul, so if this relationship that you're trying to leave is with your twin soul, that person is not going to disappear from your reality. You're going to tell yourself a lie to give yourself the appearance and the belief that you've moved on, and your twin is going to do the same thing. So you're going to feel that within you, the lie that you're telling yourself. It's going to feel really bad, basically. And there's really no, it's like there's not going to be any way to move on without lying to yourself, because that is your person. That is the person you were meant to live your life with. So the good news there is that it's actually pretty freeing when you sink into the truth of it, because your twin soul cannot leave you, and you, like, just like you cannot leave your twin soul cannot leave you. You can't let go of your twin. They can't let go of you either. And it's like really, there's a security in that, to know that if, and even if they do leave you in the physical, to know that you can do your own inner work and it will attract them to you. Like they're not going to be able to leave you. They will come back into your reality over and over again, until you recognize the truth of it, and until they recognize the truth of it. And of course, that's going to happen at the same time, because you guys make the same core choices. So if you need to let your twin soul go, do it in the physical. Like, it's perfectly safe to test it in the physical, and it will verify the truth of this. So there's that saying that says, if you love something, let it go. If it's meant for you, it will always come back. And if it's not meant, or if it doesn't come back, then it was never yours to begin with. That's kind of a paraphrase. And I actually saw that, I saw that quote this morning on like Facebook or somewhere. I saw that exact quote, and that is it's not true for most relationships, just to be honest, but it is true for your twin soul. Your twin soul will absolutely come back every single time, over and over again. And as you do your inner work, you will attract that person into your space. Like they're not going to be able to keep stepping away from you as you do your inner work. They're only going to be able to keep coming toward you. And the universe is going to conspire in your favor to like bring the two of you back together, back into each other's orbits. So it's a really cool process, and it's perfectly safe to test it. So I hope this was helpful to you. Definitely, if you're going through this, you have my compassion. I'd say the summary of what you can do is question your beliefs around this and notice where some of them are false. Look for ways that you can release the situation with love. And another way to say that is to surrender to the current reality of the situation. Because that's basically all you're doing, is you're just surrendering more deeply into your union. And just finding ways to surrender more deeply is going to bring your twin soul to you. And it's the same thing. Like, you're like releasing the situation with love. It literally just means to surrender control. That's like all that means. And then feel, if you truly feel done, you can walk away. But if you are just trying to walk away, feel free to just test it, because it's very safe. Very, very safe to test this and to see, like, okay, I'm taking a break from this person. Like, do they keep coming back, or do they fall away easily? That's really everything for this particular topic. So I hope it was helpful to you. Definitely check out some of my other twin soul topics at cardreadingqueen.com/YouTube. That's my YouTube channel. You can also listen to my podcast, Your Twin Soul Journey. Find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, anywhere where podcasts are available. And then you can also check out my blog, cardreadingqueen.com/blog. I hope this was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching or listening, and have a beautiful and blessed day.